Good morning. Let's have a look at what happened yesterday, and we'll take a quick peek at the Australian Open tennis as well. Chelsea and Fulham, single penalty. The difference in that London derby, very tough to read that match. Newcastle and Man City, arguably, if you were on the side of Manchester City, then you'd have got a trade out of that one. Bayer Leverkusen eventually got the goal. If you laid the draw second half, they eventually got it. But we could have got in late on as well. So don't forget the ability to delay. Such is their reputation. Leverkusen, well worth laying that draw as late as possible. 94th minute winner for Palacios. They were missing Boniface, I think, yesterday. But this is typical of a comeback post-winter break. Just a bit of ring rustiness. You saw Leipzig. But laying over 1.5 goals covers that 1-0 scoreline. That's the importance of insurance there. I made a number of good calls in the live chat without necessarily following them up myself. But I know 1 or 2 attendees did listen to what I had to say and took action. Indeed, I was mentioning Heidenheim's possible equaliser here. Didn't fancy taking on this 0-0. Weren't seeing it. I did put forward Mainz as a possible equaliser, but I didn't. I did act in simulation mode, so I showed attendees how to place the play, and it was a profitable play. But Mainz not known for their goal scoring, so you're always flirting with disaster with Mainz, but they did get the equaliser yesterday. Is this winter break going to help them start to rediscover their goal scoring form? In Italian Serie A, Napoli, very, very late winner. This is a carbon copy of the Salernitana-Juventus match. Very, very impressive defensive display from Salernitana, but eventually getting done by Ramani in the 96th minute. Oh dear. Second consecutive late winner. Second consecutive 2-1 defeat. Salernitana are improving under Inzaghi, but they just need to wrap it up at the end of the match. They are getting caught out. Monza and Inter, well, no worries there. 1.35, 1.36. 20-minute rule? No. Far too efficient. In the Eredivisie, PSV, again, 1.05 shot. 3-0, 3-1, any other home score. Far too efficient again for your 20-minute rule. Twente thoroughly deserved this win. I did, again, mention this in the live chat webinar. Twente would be the team to score the next goal. If you laid the draw second half, it was all there in the in-play stats. If you had the feed, one-way traffic basically. In what was arguably a derby-style match, a top 4 clash. I mentioned the Desmond Tutu here. You put in a Desmond Tutu in a match known for it, in a league known for goals. So that was a good play. A good recovery from Nak Breda there. I didn't see that one coming. But having said that, we have mentioned in the past 2.3 the favourite with an early lead can be gettable, as indeed was the case here and has been the case in the past. So do watch out for that. 2-0 leads for matches we normally ignore. That was a 2-0 lead, for example. Let's have a look. No, that went to 1-1. So do watch out for that. 2.3 plus the favourite. Again, 1.25 and delivering. 0-3, 1-3, any other away scoreline for Sporting. 20-minute rule? Yes, Paulinho turning up with a goal before half-time. Las Palmas, great result for them against the Yellow Submarine. Continue their impressive home form. Another one I called in the live chat webinar, Mallorca equaliser, but I was waiting for the second half, and wouldn't you know it, 43rd minute equaliser. Thoroughly deserved for Mallorca. They should have really put the cherry on top and got the win yesterday. So some good stuff. Let's have a look at the English Championship, English League 1, English League 2. We work our way down. Anything doing there? Well, the red card changed the match. I didn't take action. I should have done really, because Coventry impressed in the first half with their in-play stats. I should have carried that forward once Leicester took the lead and Leicester were red carded. The best time to take on a side is when they've got the lead and they've been red carded, because their odds are naturally lower. Elsewhere, possibility to lay the late draw here, given the fact these two are in the wrong end of the table and they will be eyeing 3 points against a fellow struggler. Another match in the live chat webinar I called correctly. I was impressed by Middlesbrough's performances against Premier League sides in the Cup, so much so that I argued they could end this draw, and they did. Elsewhere, not much else doing there. In English League One, a couple of abandonments yesterday. Let's have a look through. I did call this yet again in the live chat webinar if you attended. I mentioned Peterborough's solid credentials as far as scoring the second goal not away from home, but second half. It's the fourth consecutive match I think they've scored 2+ goals. Pretty good stuff. We did lay Leyton Orient 0-2 up, but Pompey didn't turn up. 1.65 shot. Now I'm getting a bit concerned now with them. Their last match they scored via an own goal. This match they failed to score. So just be a little wary with top of the table Portsmouth at the moment. Might be some striking issues. English League One. Again, another mention in the live chat webinar to lay that draw. Forest Green. The red card helped massively, of course. Salford, new manager. Thoroughly deserved this. If you were following me in the live chat webinar, you saw their stats lighting up. New manager syndrome, basically. It's what's called the manager bounce, the managerial bounce. The players suddenly turn up. Doncaster and Newport, you could have laid the late draw here. Favouring Doncaster actually, but laying the draw is a neutral play, so it doesn't matter who scored. Grimsby and Notts County. Well, if you were with Notts County throughout here, you'd have filled your boots yesterday. It was one of those Chuckle Brother matches, this one. It's to me, to you, to me, to you, to me, to you, to me, to you, to me, to you. It is a Chuckle Brother match. To me, to you. Unbelievable stuff, Jeff. Wow. Did lay the very late draw, of course. You had to really at 5-5. But you could have filled your boots throughout. Barrow did get a late equaliser. Deserved, well, based on their league position, fourth in the league. MK Dons getting a very late winner. Another one I called well yesterday in the live chat without necessarily taking action myself, which was a pity. Monaco and Reims, you have to be very cautious. I was watching this. It was an empty stadium pretty much. So I don't know what was going on there. I really don't know what was going on with this Monaco rematch. Very, very empty stadium. That equaliser was your possible out. Don't forget, if you call it right and you cash out, it doesn't matter what happens after. And it looked as if it was a well-deserved win for Reims yesterday. So that was the major matches yesterday. We'll have a look at today. Everton and Aston Villa. Well, I'd be thinking personally that Aston Villa's odds should be a little shorter. They've started to score 2 goals away from home now. That's going to be very troubling for their opponents. Everton, the wheels have started falling off since they've started meeting better quality sides. So I expect that pattern to continue, but the market's telling us it's a little trepidatious about Aston Villa today. Man United and Tottenham is your archetypal derby style match. I wouldn't be backing Manchester United as favourite at all. They're one of those unreadable sides. No matter what research I give you here, we don't know which Manchester United turns up. Well, the strong stats are no draw in 10 at home. You might want to look at that. They've yet to lead at half time at home, United. 8th against 5th. 11 out of 13 goals scored at home have come second half by Man United. That's something to remember if the Spuds take the lead. They've scored 2+ goals, Tottenham, in 4 of the last 5 away matches against the top 7. Both teams have scored in all matches with just 1 win. Unreadability is the concern there. In Spanish La Liga, Almeria are yet to win a match. It's unlikely to happen against giant killers Girona, who are having an exceptional season, second in the league. I can't see Almeria getting the win, I'm afraid. It's going to have to be, I think, against a fellow relegation threatened side. They have been close at home with a couple of draws, but Girona, they're another animal altogether. Cadiz and Valencia, 2.6 the favourite, too tough to call. Lille and Lorient, 1.35 for Lille. Revenge in mind, it was an emphatic head-to-head win for Lorient. Only 3 defeats for Lille, one of them was that Lorient win. 7 out of 11 goals scored at home have come first half, 5 defeats and 6 recently, 3 losses and a draw away recently for Lorient. Brest and Montpellier, on seasonal form, Brest look solid, 5 wins and a 1-1 draw recently as well, 4 clean sheets and 5 matches, unbeaten home and away against 7th and lower. Montpellier yet to beat a top 12 side as well. So on paper, it looks a good opportunity for Brest today. Metz and Toulouse, 2.37 the favourite. Leave that one alone in French Ligue 1. Nantes and Clermont, 1.91 favourites. Nantes, only 1 win in 8 for them. Coming into this in poor form. Failed to score that second goal in those 8 matches, so that could leave them high and dry if they score first. Will they really score a second? Only 1 win since the 27th of October for Clermont, so they're coming into this in poor form as well. Against 12th and lower, 1-1, 1-2 win and a 2-2, so they could be competitive. They're playing 13th today, 18th in the league, Clermont. Interesting match. Both sides coming into this in pretty poor form. Le Havre to be respected at home, but for me, Lyon are turning a corner. Only 4 wins for Lyon all season, 3 consecutive wins though. Are they starting to warm up? 3 of the 4 wins were 1-0 only, so they're going to have to keep this Le Havre quiet, and indeed they might be able to. Le Havre failed to score in 8 of the last 11 matches. This could be an opportunity for Lyon to continue their impressive recent run. They needed the wins. They've only had 4 all season. Watch out for Le Havre. They can surprise at home. They did beat Nice. Lens and Paris Saint-Germain, 7th against 1st. Only 1 defeat for Lens since the 24th of September. Really solid stuff. They're unbeaten in 6 at home as well. Only 1 loss for PSG. Came against Nice, who beat Lens in their last match. They're unbeaten in 12, scoring in the last 10, PSG. They do tend to score first away from home as well. Lens coming into this in decent nick. Lazio against Lecce. 3 consecutive wins now for Lazio. Only Inter Milan have beaten them at home since the 23rd of September. Only 4 wins for Lecce. One win since the 26th of September. No win in 9 away. Lazio's home form has gone under the radar, really. Cagliari Bologna, 2.45 the favourite. Give that one a berth. Fiorentina tend to look towards 1-0 wins. 4 consecutive home wins. Last 4 matches were 1-0. 3 were wins. That ends draws, of course. Udinese keep drawing. 5 wins and a draw at home against 5th to 18th for Fiorentina. So they'll be looking to end that draw. 2 consecutive matches without a draw for Udinese. So they'll be delighted with that. 3-0 home win and a 1-2 home loss. Not so with that second result, which was against Lazio. Only 1 away win was a 0-1. All Udinese draws bar 1 came home and away against 10th and lower. This is 4th against 16th, so we might see that draw absent today. I would certainly lay any late draw here. Fiorentina, can they get that 1-0? Roma against Inter Milan. AC Milan, too tough to call. German Bundesliga, Bochum against Werder Bremen. This is one of those matches both sides will be eyeing the win. 14th against 13th. 2 draws and 2 consecutive wins at home for Bochum latest. 3 goals scored in the wins. All 4 Werder wins came at home against 11th and lower. 2-2, 2-2, 4-2 loss away against 10th and lower. Will we see both teams score? Will we see both teams score 2 goals? will be interesting and well worth finding out. It's a match I can't pick the winner because both sides will be fancying their chances. Mönchengladbach against Stuttgart. Draw, win, win, win. Draw, latest at home for Mönchengladbach. 2+ goals scored. Scoring and conceding in the last 5 matches overall. 11 consecutive over 2.5 goal matches for them as well. Only Bayern, though, have beaten Stuttgart in the last 6 matches, coming to this in decent nick. 100% wins against 10th and lower. This is 12th against 3rd. So Stuttgart will fancy their chances. Mönchengladbach will fancy their chances as well. 1.85 for Stuttgart in a both teams to score possible match. Stuttgart away matches tend to have lots of goals after the hour mark. Eredivisie, Volendam and Almere, 2.45 the favourite. Go Ahead and Ajax, no win in 4 for Go Ahead. Sees 2 consecutive home defeats. It's a top 6 clash. Go Ahead have lost all to top 4 that they've played. After a woeful first half of the season, Ajax have come alive with 6 wins and 2 2-2 draws since the 2nd of November. I'd be very careful now not to go against Ajax. Certainly we took them on early season, but not now. Things are starting to click. Vitesse Arnhem against Utrecht, 2.15 the favourite. A lack of seasonal form for both of these two sides. 3 wins, plays 4. I don't like the lookout of this match, so I'll leave this one alone. Feyenoord and NEC Nijmegen, only 2 defeats for Feyenoord. Away defeats only against 1st and 15th for NEC Nijmegen. Only 1 loss since the 7th of October. So they could be competitive against Feyenoord, but the market's emphatic. 1.11 looks a little bit too short for me with NEC's competitive form. But got to respect the market. They got it right with PSV Eindhoven yesterday. Got it right with Sporting Lisbon yesterday, scoring 3+ goals as well. I'm just watching the tennis at the moment as well. I've had some success this early morning. Here we have a 3-0 lead against a 1.06 shot. So what did I do? I laid the outsider 3-0 up to win the first set. So I'm going to have to cash out of this now, if I can. It's 4-4. Rublev has come from 3-0 down to make it 4-4. So I've got a nice green screen there if I can get out. Getting there. It's quite a liquid at this time of the morning. It's 4:40 a.m. in the UK. I didn't sleep very well yesterday, so I'm up and I've taken advantage of the early tennis. So hopefully this will clear up and I'll be able to get out. Looking at some of the other matches today. And this is something I will focus on more during the summer for you. The timing at the moment is a bit off. Sweeney against Kerendulu. This is your archetypal Aussie in the Aussie Open. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Wins the first set. And his odds, for me, far too short at about 5.2. 4.9 to lay him 3-0. I laid him 3-0 at 5.6, which for me is extremely good value against a 1.3 favourite who's, I think he's a top 10, Francisco Cerundolo. I went in again when Dane Sweeney was leading the 3rd set. I could even go in again, but I'm not going to. Look at that, another great profit there, 107 quid for that kind of an outlay. That's about an evens return there. Barbara, is it Barbara? Yeah, Barbara Kretchinova, £64 profit there. How did I do this? Well, Maya Hontama won the first set. Barbara, 1.6 pre-match odds. So I got involved after Maya Hontama won the first set. Serenko and Bronzetti, similar story. Bronzetti winning the first set. So I can back Lesia Turenko at 2.92. These odds here were to lay out. I could have made a lot more profit had I stayed in. Could have made up to 130, 140 quid had I stayed in. This was a loss. Shevchenko Munar. 2-0 up. I laid Munar, but odds-on favourite Shevchenko, better ranked as well, just didn't turn up. I wonder if that was a footballer and not the tennis player. So it's been a really good early session. Tennis trading for me is all about, like the football, we're reacting to what's happening, and I tend to make my money in about the first 2 or 3 days of a Grand Slam, where you've got lots of ricks, as you can see here. 1.03 favourite, 3-0 down. Look at the first set market. Now, hopefully I cashed out. Nearly cashed out. I would like to get out because it's 5-4 now. So hopefully I'll get an opportunity if someone will take that 5 which belongs to me. So we'll be covering this more in April onwards, when you've got Wimbledon, you've got the Paris French Roland Garros, and you've got the US Open. It's Wimbledon and Roland Garros which are very suitable for European and UK time, and we've got the all of the warm-up tournaments, Barcelona, Madrid, Monaco, Rome, all these prestigious events, Halle in Germany. We've got the Dutch grass court events as well. It's all really high quality tennis, and players will be turning up. So I made a lot more money in the tennis than I did in the football yesterday. I could have made a lot of money in football had I got to my calls in time. I'm just keen to get out of this one without a loss. So that's my 5 there. So hopefully somebody will nibble at it. So the way I use this, I like tennis24.com, but if you want to see seedings, you go to the Australian Open website itself. I like to target seedings, seeded against unseeded. We've got one here, 5th seed against unseeded Sabalt Wild, leading 3-0. Karandulu, 22nd against your old Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Going to put up a plucky performance in front of home support. I'm gambling on him running out of steam, the old Sweeney, which indeed is what he's doing. So Marin Cilic having a second win there, but I couldn't have backed Marin Cilic. His best days are way behind him. So you go to the Australian Open website, and this is where you can go to the live scores and target seeded against unseeded. Novak Djokovic coming up. Maria Sakkari, wow, Hibino's come back. Maria Sakkari was leading 2-0 there. So if Hibino wins the first set, that would be an angle for me. Yannick Sinner, 4th seed, doing the job as well. So you've got your live scores here, and you can see the seeded against the unseeded. You won't go far wrong if you favour the seeded in the early rounds as well. We've got a qualifier against a wild card, Elise Cornet. Again, her best days are behind her, so I wouldn't be focusing on her. 30th in the world. Also look at the world rankings as well. If they're tightly ranked, I'd be very careful. I wouldn't have seen Frutarova, but the market had her correct as well. But she did have a medical timeout, which I didn't like. So my next one will be, if Hibino wins the first set, to take her on. That was excellent stuff there, if I can just cash out of that first set win. When you get a player leading 2 sets in a men's game, consideration for laying the player 2 sets up, because you'll see oftentimes, as you can see here with Sweeney fighting back, because if he doesn't, he's out of the tournament. We've got a 2-set lead from Marozsan. Is Cilic going to win this next set to make it a 5-setter? I don't know. As I say, his best days are behind him. For the women's game, it's even more urgent. It's a best of 2 sets. first to 2 sets. So if you lose the first set, you're in a spot of bother. It looks like normal service is being resumed. Back on serve for Sakari. But some of the women's games have been awful as far as service games is concerned, which leaves me a little cold. We've had the likes of this one here. You look at the amount of lost service games from 10th seed, or the world number 10. That's particularly in the second set. Lost serve, lost serve, lost serve. This other player lost serve, lost serve. It's awful stuff, isn't it? I suppose that's all, can all be found in the service stats, but I don't look that deep. I'm just reacting. I'm looking at the odds, and then I do a quick look at the world rankings, 8th against 92nd, and natural inclination is towards a world top 10 player. So that's enough about the tennis. It's certainly something for us. As you can see, the clock is not our friend in Australia. Latest kickoff 9:30, Borna Koric. I'll see you throughout the day for a live chat webinar. I'm not sure when it will start. Probably 2 p.m. That will catch Everton, Cagliari. It looks to be a quiet afternoon, really, to be honest. We've got our Spanish friends. They're not turning up. Yes, they are. Just the one match at 1 o'clock. So this could be a quiet one. So I'll play it by ear. I'll initially start at 2 p.m. live chat, but we might not have the volume of matches for me to do a continuous live chat today. So I'll certainly see you a bit later, and do pay attention to the tennis. You can find some good trades there.